Aloha and welcome to Ike Ku'oko'a. This is our webpage, and do shop around. There's lots available. A description of the project, an explanation of why it's important, calendar of things coming up, progress reports, announcements, and other materials, including a forum, place to donate, contact if you have questions, and this will take you back to our front page. Awaiaulu is the project, and that has a write-up there. To create a new account, press here, fill these in, hit register, and an email will be sent to you so that you can log in. Before you're able to reserve a page, you're supposed to watch this how-to video and look over the guidelines. And then you can reserve a page that will allow you to download a TIFF file. That's a picture of the original, and a text file. This is the file we'll type into. Then you can go offline. Both of these files should be saved to your desktop. Now this can be enlarged to whatever size makes it easy. And the more pages you've done, the more clear this will be that some of this text might look pretty fuzzy, but the more you see it, the more familiar you are. I know this says no ka makahiki. A single tab, no need all the dots, and that's actually $2, which is $2 a year for the subscription. This one says no eono mahina, tab, $1 for 6 months. Now, if you were so uncertain that couldn't make out the N, an at would work just fine there. Anything that you are uncertain of, you can use the at. If it's unclear, torn, covered up with a blot of ink, all of those things happen. Ku'ike ka rula. Cash is the rule, and it's po aono, single tab, Augate 28th of August, 1886. And you'll see that, yes, the G, the T, the R, they all show up in Hawaiian newspapers, highlighting that those are foreign words. Now that should be Kamo'olelo o Laudila. And most of the text is left justified. So a single tab shows a new paragraph. Notice that there's no maintenance of the column. We're going to type straight across the page as though the column never existed. And where words might be dashed for the column break, we'll just continue them right on. Ekalamei kamaka maka. So this would all be one word with no dash. Now this would type straight on down. This seems to be a single article running, and breaks here. So double space there. This would go straight into the next column. Ho'opa kele'ia. So it was a dash running right into the next column. Here's a break, another with a title. So breaks have a single open line. This would run straight through from left to right. Most of this text looks actually pretty controllable. You don't worry about size, you don't worry about bolding, italics, none of that shows up. We do try to maintain capitals and lowercase, and some of these get pretty tight, but they're still clear, and sometimes it's just a matter of making the text larger. Now, this is an important thing, is where text is unreadable. We still want to try our best, because these announcements, and that was centered, but the rest of it is not. These announcements often hold family names, property names, place names. So whatever we can get in here, we'll make it searchable. Kolo kolo, and I know that's kie kie. Let's put an at. I can't be certain, and then we're going into lowercase. So Aina am, and a single at will tell the readers that there's fuzzy text at hand. Okay, period. Ma ka. I'll wager it's pala pala, so I'm going to chance it, and I can't make out the rest of that, so I'll just go with E-P-H-R-A-I-M, Kupele. Now, if the Kupele family were looking for information on their ancestor, it would show up here, and even though this is unclear, they would know which newspaper to track in the archives. If the original were available, they might be able to read the whole thing. The ink may be in this bad a shape even on the original. Hard to tell. Oh, wow, not certain. And so this would continue on. The top right seems to be worse. It does seem to get a little better as we move down, but this right column, all the way across, is pretty poor. Now, another example, and this is a separate text. This was very clear, very easy to read. This is part of why I knew the other text. But you'll see that on the right hand of this, it gets very fuzzy as well. Now this one, with a lot of careful comparison, we were actually able to make out this entire text. And it was time consuming, but I think it was very worthwhile. Now once these are done, and you've checked your work, being aware that there's no need to maintain the careful layout of ads and things. This would be a single tab would bring all that in, but each of these, it would be a single tab between names. If they don't align like they do in the paper, it's not an issue. The same with text here that might be aligned lovingly by some 10-year-old typesetter. That could all be either left justified or centered. Either one would work just fine. This block in here. And of course the large and small letters. Images, we don't even acknowledge them. Frank Gertz, and the next thing typed would be Mea kalepa alavelawehana mana anokama a pau. Trader and maker of every kind of shoe. So once these are done and you've checked your work, we could submit the file, which will punch the submit button. It'll bring up this box. Now you can dedicate this to, I would dedicate it to all of the TypeScripters that are out there working. We'll say it took 4 hours, and I would choose the file. Now I didn't really type a full file, so I'm going to choose a false file. And if you don't choose this exact same titled file, it'll tell you this is the wrong one. So you have to go back and do it again until you get the right one. Now I don't want to submit a partially completed file, so I'm just going to cancel this. But my comments here would be, thanks to all of you, because we are very thankful. We have 3,400 people as of the making of this how-to video that have already dedicated their time to making this legacy of the past become something for today and for the future. So thank you for being a part of Ike Ku'oko'a, and July 31st, we should be able to wrap this up. Aloha nui no.